Hello, good afternoon or good morning, where you may be. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, my name is Janay. Feel free to jot your questions down, and as Gosha said, we will address them towards the end of today's session. So I'm simply just going to jump right in and tell you a little bit about the MyEnglishLab program. It is an online learning management tool that complements our Pearson ELT textbooks. It provides additional online practice, continuous assessment, and timely feedback to help motivate and engage your learners. Here are a few areas that we've highlighted that have to do with the benefits of using the MyEnglishLab program. The accessibility is anytime, anywhere, on any device. We have interactive activities that provide engaging videos, audios, voice recording, and playback, as well as providing immediate feedback so that our teachers can provide individualized instruction. We do have assessments. There's ongoing assessments through tests, quizzes that are built in every step of the way. We provide the ability to manage your classroom by being able to create courses or the environment that allows you to monitor your students' progress. You're able to hide, show, and assign the content and share that content with your colleagues and adjuncts. The Gradebook management tool is very vast, having to deal with a range of tools that allow you to evaluate your students' strengths and weaknesses. This would be attempts, how long did it take, or how many tries did the student have in order to achieve full credit for the program or achieve 100%. We have a data analysis tool that provides you helpful charts. You have diagnostic tools as well as a common error report and the ability to download the grades into an Excel spreadsheet. We also provide a messaging tool. The messaging tool is built right into the MyEnglishLab program and works just like any other email program. So you can email information having to deal with assignments, course and subscription expiration dates, and receive those notifications all within the MyEnglishLab platform. LMS integration, which also stands for Learning Management Systems. We do offer learning management system integration for platforms like Moodle, Blackboard, or Canvas, where we provide single sign-on access to the MyEnglishLab program being used by the institution. The affordability and the cost savings. We do provide several different discounts on the programs that we're providing, as well as an online tool where students can purchase the access code directly from buymylab.com. Just to give you a brief overview of the system requirements, they're broken down easily for you to read, having to deal with their operating systems, but you'll see overall that it does work for PCs, Apple computers, your tablet, or mobile devices. For updated information, you can find this on our support site that we will see towards the end of today's session. I think it's important for you to understand the user's journey. We have at the top the administrator or the instructor, but that's basically where the educator lies. We identify two specific users, which are the educator and then the learner or student. The educator journey can be broken into two different roles. There's an administrator role and an instructor role. When you log in as an educator, you're automatically brought into the instructor role. The instructor role, as well as the administrator role that can be accessed through a feature on the Settings tab, allows you to create courses, add new students to the course, add and join other instructors to the course, and then be able to manage and or assign your activities to your students. Once the students begin to submit their information, submit their activities, the teacher is easily able to analyze the performance directly within the MyEnglishLab program. When you're a student, the journey is supposed to be log in as a student, submit practice activities from your course tab, and then submit assigned practice and tests from the assignments tab. The student, once they click the Submit button, is easily able to go to the Gradebook tab to review their submitted activities and scores. These are just a few brief slides just to show you in context how the process works when you're dealing with the MyEnglishLab program. First, you're going to create an account. To find the local Pearson representative in your country, you can click here, but I can provide you that link later on in the presentation. And the instructor access code is only provided by the local Pearson representative. Once you've obtained your instructor access code, you're able to go to english.com/login. This screen will allow you to create a new account. On the next screen, you'll be able to see if you want to create an adult account or a child account. Of course, in this case, we would select the adult account, and then you'll fill out this brief form entering in your personal information and your account information. That is the first process of actually being able to create an account. Once you've created your account, you'll be brought into what is called the portal. The portal is hosted on our dashboard that you see here, and this will be the first view for those who have just created a new account. Under the Products tab, you'll see an Add New Product button. By clicking on that button, you're able to add the product directly into your account. One account is all that is needed in order to function, and you can add multiple products to your one single account. For some programs, you do have the ability to use a QR code for students. Students are able to use the QR code and register their access code directly by using the QR code. So after you've added your product, you're able to immediately see your product on the dashboard. On the dashboard, you're able to see your product's icon, the title. It'll most likely tell you the expiration date as well as what edition you're using. So in this screenshot, you'll see that there is an expiration date. For instructors, you have 3 years from the date of registration to use the product. You can simply ask your local sales rep to provide you another access code if your expiration date is about to come up. Moving on to this screen is from a student's point of view. When a student has joined a course, the student is able to go to their account and they are able to access all of their content from the course tab. All they're accessing is the content that was built into the MyEnglishLab program as practice. So from the course tab, the student is able to access all practice activities. However, when they come to class, they're going to be given a course ID. This course ID is generated by the instructor, the educator, and the educator is able to give that course ID to the student so the student can join the course. The course ID is usually in 8-character format. The student will enter in the course ID and then immediately be able to join a particular course, that teacher's course. Excuse me. Sorry. So what I plan to do now is to go through a live demo of the instructor journey as well as the student journey. So here you'll see that this is my screen. I happen to be on Google Chrome, one of the preferred internet browsers for MyEnglishLab. The other preferred internet browsers are Mozilla Firefox and Safari. As I go up to the top, I simply enter in english.com/login. Here's the form that asks for the personal information and your account information. What I'd like to bring to your attention is that when creating the username, you automatically will receive or see this pop-up that gives you parameters specifically for MyEnglishLab in regards to what's acceptable for a username. So your username can only contain lowercase letters, numbers, @signs, underscores, dots, and dashes. Similarly, the create password, you'll see this icon. This icon says enter a password that is 8 to 32 characters long. It must include one number or a special character and cannot contain blank spaces, your name, or your username. So let me go back to the first page, and I'm going to sign in first as a student, actually. Okay, so I have just signed in to my new account. My new account brings me to my portal or the dashboard. At the very top, you'll see the dashboard. This is what we're on. And then next, you'll see my account. My account will give me the personal information that I entered in earlier to create my account. It'll show me my first name, my last name, and my username. This information cannot be changed once it has been created. I'll have the ability to change the native language, country, or the time zone, as well as my email address or the password. To change your password, you must enter in the old password and then enter in your new password. Additionally, at the top, you do have language assistance. So this means that when I select a specific language, such as Dutch, all of the navigational buttons will change into the language that I have selected. This is still an English program, so rest assured the activities themselves are still in English. There is a help button here, but the help button here is specifically for the dashboard or portal. So if you click this help button, you're brought to a support page for help for the portal. And then you see the sign out button. Right now, the products that are accessible on this student's account is the Pearson English Interactive 2 2.0. It shows the expiration date, which is 2 years from today's date. I registered this code earlier today, and as a student usually gains access to one level of the program for 2 years. To add a product, I would click on the add button. I would grab my access code. And enter my access code. Automatically, you'll see a green line that says product added, and then I'm left with this screen that says product has successfully been added. Your product is now visible on the dashboard. I simply go back to the dashboard, and I now see the new product that I have access to. Now, this student had one access code, but you'll now see that there are 4 new icons available. The reason why we're on a dashboard is because the portal allows you to access different programs. We're speaking about MyEnglishLab today, so the MyEnglishLab is where we want to go. Wherever you see the word MyEnglishLab, that brings you into the MyEnglishLab platform. So by clicking MyEnglishLab, you'll see that a new tab has opened. I'm still able to access the other tab, which is the portal, and gives me access to all of my products. But if I click on this tab, I am on the MyEnglishLab platform. As a student, I'm on the course tab, and on the course tab, I'm able to see the products I have access to. This product is North Star Listening and Speaking 2, 5th edition. This product, Pearson English Interactive 2, but this is telling me that I am enrolled in a course. This is a product giving me basic content. This is the product, but I've joined a particular course. So what we're doing right now is look at the content that's available to you or available to the student from their course tab. There are two types of content that are available. There's practice and test. By default, students are only able to access the practice activities from their course tab. As I go through the North Star program, looking straight down on the left-hand side of the screen, this shows me the content or the table of contents that are accessible. Whatever I click on the right-hand side, whatever I click on the left-hand side is what's viewable on the right-hand side. So as I'm looking at Unit 1, Offbeat Jobs, I can click on Focus on Listening section to see all of the content that's available within this particular section. Or I can go to Unit 2 so that I can look at that particular content. When you're inside of the program and clicking the down arrow, you're able to see the content again that is available by default. These are practice activities. So as a student goes through specific activities, they're simply able to join a teacher's course. If I look at this product or this course, you'll see it looks a little bit different. One, it's a different program, but you'll see that this has been hidden from the student because the student is inside of a teacher's course. And as mentioned before, the teacher is able to manage the content for the student. So on the teacher's side, the teacher has hidden this particular content from the student. You'll also see on the student side, it shows how many available activities, practice activities, are available for the student and how many the student has completed thus far. Going back to the North Star program, I'd like to click on one or two activities just to show you what type of activities are available. We have activities that are system graded and activities that are teacher graded. Let me take you through a teacher graded activity first. Teacher graded activities are those activities that require a response from the student as they have recorded their voice or have provided a written response. In this particular example, it's showing you a recording of the student's voice. So the student is able to see at the very top the name of the program, which level they are in. They're able to see what section, unit, or module, as well as the section of that unit, module, or chapter. Then they're able to see the title of the actual activity and review their instructions. Instructions are very simple here. Listen to the sentences, repeat the sentences, and record your voice. Then listen to your recording. What did you say well? What do you need to improve? This next line is giving specific information to the student having to deal with how the activity is being graded. Because the student has accessed this activity from the course tab as practice, the student can simply click the record button and record their voice multiple times, as many times as they need, and submit the activity, but they will not receive a grade. It is because they have accessed this teacher-graded activity as practice. The teacher would have to assign this activity in order for the teacher to receive the recorded response or to receive the written response. So going through the activity, the student would listen.
Career. Are you happy in your career?
The student would then attempt to record the response. No, I'm not happy in my career. The student would be able to play the recording back. No, I'm not happy in my career. And if they are not happy with the recording, they can simply re-record. After I've clicked the re-record button, I simply click OK to start recording. Yes, I am happy in my career. Yes, I am happy in my career. As the student goes through each of the recordings, The student is able to play back as many times as they need. And when they get to the bottom of the screen, the student will have the ability to exit out of the activity, meaning that the student is not submitting this. They're using an attempt at their activity. The student can save the activity, meaning they're not yet ready to submit. But when you are ready to submit, you simply click the submit button. But keep in mind, this is an activity that was not assigned by the teacher and it will not be graded. So when the student clicks the submit button, message, no grading report is available for a writing or speaking practice activity will appear. Again, the student has been on the course tab and accessed what is considered a teacher-graded activity. Those activities are those that require a written or recorded response. Now that we've gone through that type of activity, we also have system-graded activities. So system-graded activities are simply that. As I go through the activity, I'm able to make my selections. There are different activity types that are available within the MyEnglishLab program. For instance, there is a drop down, there is multiple choice, there is drag and drop, there is also fill in. Once the student has made all of their selections, at the bottom of the screen, the student is able to make their decision if they want to exit, save, or submit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and submit this activity. But before I submit this activity, I would like to bring to your attention that the system does identify how many times a student has attempted an activity in order to achieve 100% or full credit. Right now, this is my first attempt on this particular activity. As I click the submit button at the bottom, I am immediately provided a grade report at the top. At the top, I'm able to see my name. If I was part of an instructor's course, I would see my instructor's name here. I'd see the name of the activity, and on the other side, I see my final score or total score. You'll also see the date submission. Below that, you'll see a raw score because not all activities are easily divisible into 100. This student has gotten 10 out of 17, which is equivalent to a 59%. As I go down, I'm able to tell which one is correct, which one is incorrect. And if I scroll a little bit further, I see my button options have changed. Because I did not achieve 100%, I do get to try the activity again. So I click try again. Those activities that were marked correct will remain. Those that were marked incorrect, I can attempt this activity again. So as I make my selections, I'm going to click submit on my second attempt. And then the second attempt, I've only gotten 12 out of 17, which is equivalent to a 71% on my second attempt. But note that again, the options have changed on the bottom. By default, on the course tab for practice activities, if the student has tried an activity 2 times and has not achieved 100% or the full credit for the activity, there is a show answer button that will appear on the bottom of the screen. If the student selects show answers, then the system will take this as you want your final grade that's in the gradebook to be 71%, and you can no longer try the activity while within the activity. You have to exit back out to come back in to be able to try it again. So I'm actually going to click try again one more time. Hopefully I'll get a higher score on my third attempt. This time I've gotten 94%. Not too bad. But if I click the show answers button, my total score is 94%, 16 out of 17. It still tells me which ones I've gotten correct, which ones I've gotten incorrect, and shows me the correct answer. I no longer have the option to try the activity again because I've been shown the answers. So I can exit back out to the course tab, or I can click next to go to the next activity in the queue. I've just selected the exit button, and on my course tab, I'm able to look at that additional listening practice, and I have the ability to now try the activity again. Again, the students would have to exit out of the activity, go back to the course tab in order to be able to have unlimited opportunities to practice the same activity over and over again. But if I click the report button, I'm able to see the last final grade that I received on this activity and what options are available to me on the bottom of the activity. For most programs, they will provide a skills breakdown, letting the students know how they're doing in certain skills areas, but check with your sales representative to see which of those skills areas would appear depending on which program you're using. Now that we've had a chance to look at these two different activity types, which are teacher graded activities and system graded activities, please remember that all of these activities are still practice. So as a student, I can go to the Gradebook tab, and from the Gradebook tab, I'm able to see the practice activity that I have completed. The Gradebook tab is kind of split down into two. On the left-hand side is the table of contents so that you can search for a grade by activity. On the left-hand side, you'll see more detailed information and two tabs that allow you to look at the category of activities that you have submitted. So the data tab shows assignments category, practices category, and a test category. You want to make sure that you have selected the correct category to be able to see the practice grades. So when I click practice, I now see the 94% that appears for the activities that I've gone through. Now, if you remember, there were two activities that I've gone through. One was teacher graded, the other one was system graded. On the left-hand side, I'm basically going to be looking at the activity. So I want to follow this blue line that's basically creating like a breadcrumb of where that grade lies. As I look, I can see that there's a blue little line here, a blue line here. And I'm also realizing as I click on specific sections, the section title has changed. So I'm in Focus on Listening, and on the right-hand side, I'm on Focus on Listening. So the same rule applies as on the course tab. Whatever you click on the left is what you see on the right. As I go to these particular exercises, I see that this says submitted, and this is a link that I'm able to access. Again, able to see the activity that I submitted earlier with the final grade that appears in the gradebook. I also see submitted here, but it is not highlighted. Whenever you see submitted and it's not highlighted, it's because this activity was a teacher graded activity or an activity that required a recorded response or a written response. So the student is not able to go back to see what they submitted. In order for them to be able to do that, that activity had to be assigned by the teacher before they accessed the activity. This is just a brief view of the gradebook from the student's point of view. We've also talked about the course tab from the student's point of view. The next thing we'll talk about is the assignments tab, but it would make more sense if we create a course and have our student join that course. So what I'll do right now is I'll open up an instructor's account. I've now switched over to another browser, and I'm able to log in to my instructor account. So same view. This is the portal view but this is my instructor account that we're looking at right now. I have the same access to my account, being able to change the language if I need language assistance, and the help button. My teach button is showing me what products I have access to, and as I am a teacher trainer, I have a wealth of products listed here. I do want to mention that when you register your access code as an instructor, you usually gain access to all levels of one particular program. So if you're working with North Star, you should be able to get all levels of that particular program, and it's still for 3 years from the date of registration. We were working with the North Star program. North Star program was listening and speaking. Okay. So by clicking MyEnglishLab, I'm able to enter MyEnglishLab platform. Same as before, I still have an open tab to my portal, but I have this new tab that's opening that's giving me access to MyEnglishLab. As you have several different products on your account, you'll see up to 3 icons at any one time on your course tab. To find the particular course that you want to work with, there is a link here or button, all courses. And again, I'm able to look at all of the products that I have access to. Again, my list is quite extensive as a teacher trainer, but if I need to look at a particular product, I do have the ability to filter to the particular product that I'm looking to teach from. So if I wanted to look at the Pearson English Interactive program, I can type in Pearson English Interactive. I can also type in the North Star program. So I'm filtering by typing in this information here. I can also sort by last used or in alphabetical order, or simply look by product. As I go through the list of programs, I'm looking at North Star Listening and Speaking 2, 5th edition. Wanted to point out the differences that you're able to see as an instructor. As an instructor on the course tab, you are able to see both practice and test activities. The practice and test activities that you are able to access are the same way. So whatever I click on the left-hand side is what I see on the right, and what is available on this side of the screen. You'll also see that there is a teacher resources section for this particular program. Each program is a bit different. So for North Star, there is a teacher resources tab. The Teacher Resources tab will provide you a wealth of information that's going to help you and your colleagues be able to teach the program effectively with help from our Pearson publishers. You'll see at the end of the row, when I basically unfold all of these different areas, it gives you a descriptor at the end of the row for some of the activities. So for instance, I see the word PDF. It's simply telling me that this activity that I click on is a PDF. And keep in mind that your student did not have access to these areas because this is teacher resources. And by default, let me just click on another area. By default, teacher resources is grayed out, meaning that the student cannot see the teacher resources. So I've had an opportunity to actually click on the activity. I'll have an opportunity to look at the activities available to me. The other descriptors that you will see on your end as an instructor are teacher graded and the word test, or you might see teacher graded test. So if you see nothing at the end of the row, that's simply a practice activity. The practice activity that you see here is the same activity that the student was accessing before. If I'm able to click on this activity, is simply allowing me to look at the activity as an instructor, and as an instructor, I'm able to see what the correct answers are directly within the program. I'm also able to switch to student view. So as a teacher, you sometimes want to go through the activity to make sure that you're comfortable. You want to be able to play the audio, see what they're saying. So by clicking switch to student view, I'm now able to click on this link as if I was in a student account.
Hi, Marco. So what are you doing?
I'm able to then access the ability to submit my responses just like a student would. And at the bottom, I click submit. Again, the ability to go through the activity as a student is available to you within your instructor account. So I'm going to switch back to teacher view, and I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to click on create a course. That will be the next step that you would want to do. The reason why is because, again, you want to monitor your students' progress. To do that, simply click on the link, create a course, and you go through the two-step process. First is choose a type of course you wish to create, which is a new course. Then you're going to enter in the course details. The course end date is when the course ends, but you still have access to your product. So the course, by default, end date is going to be 1 year from today's date. But you can change that if you want to simply by clicking on the interactive button that you see here. And then also, you must select the product. When you select the product, you want to make sure that you're selecting the correct title, level, and edition. So as I look through North Star, I finally come to the correct edition that I wish to use, which is North Star Listening and Speaking 2, 5th edition, and click Submit. Those two steps have now allowed me to create a course, and every time you create a course, you are generating a unique course ID. This course ID will be given to the student so the student can immediately join your course, and then you can start working with your students and providing individualized instruction. When you want to be able to look at your course information, that is available on the Settings tab. And on the Settings tab, you see a list of courses already here. You'll see the you'll see the name of the course. Under the name of the course is the course ID, which is given to students that you wish to join the course. And it can also be given to teachers because we know that more than one teacher may be teaching a specific course. You'll see the product that is being used to generate this course, how many students are in that course, when your product expires, and then when the course ends. Let's go to our Assignments tab at this time. I'm showing you the Assignments tab from the teacher's point of view. From the teacher's point of view, you'll see 3 tabs under the Assignments and Events section. It will be in chronological order because this is a list format. So in a list format, you see in chronological order by due date and by course what is due. So for instance, I'm looking at 2 days from now in this course, FOG 3 course, all of these activities I have assigned to students. You'll see how many students you've assigned the activity to. You'll see the name of the activity. You'll be able to see the due date and time of the activity, the date it was assigned, and the start date of the activity. If you wish to change the assignment, due date, and time, click on the Edit button to be able to make changes to the due date and time. Now the date reads for the 23rd instead of the 22nd. I also see this icon here. This icon is going to be extremely important for those teachers who have assigned teacher graded activities. Teacher graded activities that have been assigned, as you can see here, will have this icon. This icon, which looks like a graduation cap, means that this was a teacher graded activity. And in order for me to grade it as a teacher, I must click on the See Report link. When I click on the See Report link, I'll be able to see the student who has submitted an activity. Right now, the score and grade is left blank. The date the student has submitted this will be visible here. And then I'll see the link Mark. When you click on the Mark link, that allows you to access the activity that the student has submitted. In this area, the student has submitted a recorded response. I'm able to play back what the student has submitted.
They're clicking the.
I'm able to add feedback to this particular question. And then at the bottom, I'm also able to provide the student a final score based on the maximum score that I've set for the activity, and then comment on the entire work. Once I click the Submit button, this is now a grade in the gradebook. Now the student's score appears. The grade that's equivalent to the score based on the gradebook appears. And now this link turns to View rather than Mark. Mark simply means that you have not yet marked the activity. View means that you have the ability to go back, view what you have provided in regards to teacher comments and or feedback, and as well as the student's grade. The last thing I'm going to show you today has to deal with the assignment process. When on the course tab, you again must create a course in order to be able to manage your content. Right now, this is only looking at the content of the course. I want to actually see the course that I created. So again, I'm going to use my trusty filter, and I'm going to find the course that I just created. Again, I have a little bit of an extensive list here. Looking for the course, 1 second. And of course, I can't find it. No worries. I'm going to click on another course so we can just go through the process as we are about to run out of time. Here is another course, Pearson English Interactive. The Pearson English Interactive course is an active course. You'll see these icons appear. These icons are appearing as I am able to manage my content. If you remember, I did click on another student's course, and I showed you that the teacher had hidden the course or hidden parts of the course. You can click on this eye icon to hide or unhide content for your students. You can do this by a section, unit, or a chapter, or you can do it by a particular subsection or by a particular activity. Now on the left-hand side, you're able to see what's the assignment button link. The assignment button link allows you to assign the content for the area that you have selected. So I've selected Module A. I'm able to simply click the button here to select all of the activities in this section. In this section, there are 39 activities. If I wish to add more, I can absolutely do that, and the system will keep account of how many activities you are assigning. Once you have selected your activities, click the Assign button, and then you'll be able to select your students. If you have already assigned certain activities, you'll see this icon appear saying that these activities have already been assigned. So if I wish to assign the other activities, I can, but knowing that that one activity is not going to be able to be assigned. I'm going to click the next step so I can go to the due date. I get to set the due date simply by clicking on the date from the interactive calendar here. I can also set a start date. By default, the activity is going to be available immediately, but I can unclick this because I may not want this activity to be available on this date. So I'm going to pick the 21st. Then I'm going to go to the next step, which is your ability to apply additional settings to the program. You have a general settings area, and then you have it broken down by system graded exercises and teacher graded exercises. Bringing your attention to the teacher graded exercises, when you have a teacher graded exercise, you must enter a maximum score that you have set for those 10 teacher graded exercises. You can choose any number between 1 and 100, but I like to use the number 15. So I have now made all of my selections. I click the assign button and I've successfully assigned those activities to my students. Going to the assignments tab, in my to-do list tab, I am able to find those activities. As we've seen before, the activities were quite extensive in regards to what I have assigned. So you do have the ability to filter on the to-do list tab to a particular course. Okay, of course I forgot the name of the course. 1 second. Pearson 2 EI. There we go. So let me go back to the assignments tab. I'm going to look for PEI 2, and then I'm able to see that particular course's activities. Sorry, hitting the wrong course, of course. Pearson 2 EI. Okay. But that is basically everything that we're going to be showing today. As we look at the Pearson 2 EI activities that have just been assigned, I'm able to see the teacher graded activity that was assigned, and as well I'm able to view the report once the student submits all of the other practice activities that have just recently been assigned. Thank you so much, and I'm available for questions at this time.
Thank you so much, Janay. This was so informative. So I did jot down a few questions.
Sure.
Okay, so one question was about changing the language, Janay. You said that the language can be changed for the text on the platform, but does the text of the buttons change, like submit, exit, check answers, or those buttons? Do those buttons stay in English?
Let's look. Okay, so this is in English right now, and that says close. If I change this to Italiano, as mentioned before, everything having to deal with the navigation button changes within the activity. The navigation button changes as well, but the activity is in English.
Great. Okay. So another question was the browsers. Could you confirm that the best browsers to use for MyEnglishLab are Chrome and Firefox, and you would not recommend Internet Explorer?
Yes, we never like to speak bad about anything or anyone, so I just would say that the recommended internet browsers are Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and Safari.
Okay, great, thank you. Another question was, once you establish the course end date when you're creating a course. Can you adjust that date at any time, or is it set?
Absolutely.
You know, in case, you know, in current
No.
situation,
On your
courses
settings.
might run longer because of disruption.
Absolutely. That's a great question. On the settings tab, there is a manage link at the end of the row. Clicking the manage link, you'll see there are additional tabs. There's a course settings tab, and then here are the abilities for you to change course details. So you simply just come here and you're able to change the course end date to whatever date works for your curriculum.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, again, that was the settings tab.
There's a number of people asking.
Manage.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Just wanted to repeat the settings tab, manage link, and then course settings, change course details.
Great, thank you. So we have a number of people asking about the integration with Blackboard and Canvas, and if their programs wanted to integrate, where do they go for help?
Sure, great question. That leads me into the help button itself. So I just told you a step of how to manage your courses, such as changing the course end date. I know I spoke about a lot of different steps. I'm pretty sure that if I was to provide a test right now, everyone would get 100, but just in case, by clicking the help button, you're able to go to our support site, and on our support site, there are specific articles that are provided step-by-step instructions on how to achieve a certain feature or benefit of the MyEnglishLab program. So the information that I just provided having to do with extending the course end date, that's under the course, and extend a course end date. As mentioned before, detailed articles showing you how to go step by step to make changes. When you have an LMS request, you have the ability to go through the Getting Support button here on the bottom. You can contact our support site so that you can put in a request for LTI or LMS integration. I think it's also available under administrator, sorry, thank you, administrator button. So under the administrator button, you'll see what areas or which programs we work with and how to request the access form through this link.
Okay, great. Thank you, Janay. Another question is about adding your own content. Does MyEnglishLab allow you to upload your own content, such as videos?
We are able to upload content, but there is a file capacity that's going to have to be met. So you can do that by going to the settings tab, going to your course, clicking on the manage link. You'll see that there is another tab called manage resources. Under the manage resources, it will tell you what the disk capacity is for you to upload content. Seems to be pretty small for a video, but this is where you're able to upload PDFs, a video, if it doesn't, reach capacity, PowerPoint presentation, a Word document. So yes, you can add resources to an existing course.
Okay, great. Thank you, Janay. So, so just we want to, I know it's 3 o'clock, so we need to wrap up, but a couple things that I wanted to add. The different codes that the students find in the textbooks that they buy are unique to that specific level. Instructor codes that you need to obtain from your local Pearson representative give instructors access to all levels within that series. So let's say you're using Focus on Grammar, and instructor, you get an instructor access code. You have access to all levels, but your students only have access to the course that they bought the book for. So if they need to access additional levels, they need to obtain access codes for those levels. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Yes.
Wonderful, Janay, thank you so much. This was very informative. I've been using MyEnglishLab for so many years and I always learn something new. So thank you for that. Everybody will receive an email with the link to the recording in a little while. And you will receive an email with a certificate of participation. The link will also be available on english.com. So you can watch it again and share it with your colleagues. And with that, I want to wish everybody a good afternoon, good evening. Stay safe. This is strange time we live in. And thank you, Janay, for your wonderful presentation.
Yes. Happy to help. Happy to help. Enjoy, everyone. Stay safe.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.